Good day, and welcome to Hiroshima University's English Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe.
And I'm Kay.
And welcome back for part 2 of our podcast entitled
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
This, as we said in part 1, is a slightly easier version of one of William Shakespeare's most famous plays.
So, Joe, can you tell us a bit about William Shakespeare?
Sure. He was born in 1564 in a British town called Stratford-upon-Avon. Stratford-upon-Avon is about 150 kilometers northwest of London.
Born in 1564, so Tokugawa Ieyasu was about 20 years old at that time.
Yes, and Shakespeare died early in the Edo period in 1616 at the age of 52.
Oh, 52, relatively young, I think. But for the period of history, normal, I guess.
Yes. His father, named John, made gloves, was a farmer, and worked in the local government. The family was middle class and had a nice house.
And his mother?
The mother, named Mary, had 8 kids. William Shakespeare was the third one.
Wow, 8 kids.
Not much is known about when William was young. It seems like he went to average schools because the family was not so rich. But William must have been good at writing stories.
Yes, he must have been.
And then he got married at the age of 18 to Anne Hathaway, who was 26 years old.
What, he was only 18 and she was 26? Wow.
Yes, they had their first child only 6 months after getting married. So...
Oh. I guess we know what that means, you know.
Haha, yes. Eventually, William and Anne had 3 children. But none of the grandchildren had children, so Shakespeare has no living direct descendants today.
だから子孫はいないんですね。
That's right. No direct descendants. And, as I said, not many details are known about when he was young. But Shakespeare went to London. He became an actor, started writing plays, and was one of the owners of a theater.
Oh, he also acted beside writing plays?
Yes. His work was so successful that by the age of 30, he had enough money and was becoming famous. He wrote A Midsummer Night's Dream at about this time, when he was about 30.
I see.
Everyone, for more details on Shakespeare's life, you can do an internet search.
Yes.
And next month, we'll tell you about a couple of his other famous plays in detail.
Sounds good.
But today, let's get back to part 2 of Hiroshima University English Podcast's version of
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
As you remember, in part 1, Hermia,
The woman,
and Lysander
the man.
ran away to a forest because Hermia refused to marry a bad guy named Demetrius.
And Demetrius went to the forest too to stop the escape.
And Hermia's friend, named Helena, is following Demetrius because she loves him.
Oh.
Meanwhile, in the forest, there are some fairies.
Fairies in Japanese are called yosei, and they have magical powers.
The king of the fairies is called Oberon.
And the queen of the fairies is called Titania.
And Oberon and Titania are fighting because Titania has an orphan boy.
In Japanese, orphan is koji ですね.
And Oberon wants the boy to be his page, his assistant. But Titania doesn't want to give the boy to the king.
Maybe because she doesn't want to make the boy work? We don't really know.
Anyway, in the beginning of part 2, Oberon calls his favorite assistant a fairy named Puck.
Puck is good at playing tricks. いたずらが上手だったんですね. And the tricks make the king laugh.
And this time, Oberon wants Puck to get the juice of a special flower.
The juice of a special flower.
And when the juice is put on the eyelids of people who are sleeping, when the people wake up, they immediately fall in love with the first thing they see.
They fall in love with the first thing they see.
Whether it's a lion or a monkey or a person,
Wow.
anything they see.
Too bad. Why does he want to put it on Titania's eyes?
He thinks that he can force her to give him the orphan boy as a page.
As an assistant.
And he will not take the charm, the magic, off of the queen until she gives him the page.
I see. Okay.
Puck, the assistant fairy, thought this was a great and funny idea, so he ran to get the magical flower. While Puck was away, Oberon saw Demetrius reproaching Helena for following him.
That means Demetrius was yelling at or criticizing Helena for following him.
Yes, Helena gently responded, reminding Demetrius that he had told her he loved her. But Demetrius just ran away from her, leaving her to the mercy of the wild beasts, the wild animals in the forest.
That's not nice of him.
The fairy king felt great passion for Helena.
So he felt sorry for her. 気の毒だって思ったんですね。
So when Puck returned, Oberon told Puck to put some of the magic juice on Demetrius's eyes when he was sleeping. But he should do it when Helena is nearby so that when Demetrius wakes up, he will love Helena.
How does Puck know who Demetrius is?
Oberon said that Demetrius is wearing Athenian garments.
So clothes from Athens.
Then Oberon took the rest of the magic juice to Titania's bedroom.
I wonder if Oberon will be successful in tricking the queen.
Maybe, but to return to Hermia, as you remember, she had escaped from the town, and in the woods she found her dear Lysander waiting for her.
Oh, how romantic.
As they continued their escape, Hermia got fatigued.
That means she got tired.
So both of them took a nap on a bank of soft moss.
苔でできてる土手みたいなものですね。
Then Puck came and found Lysander and Helena sleeping. Puck saw Lysander's Athenian clothes and thought he was Demetrius.
But actually it was Lysander.
Right. And Puck put the magic juice on Lysander's eyes.
Okay.
But after Puck went away, Helena came to the same area, and when Lysander woke up, the first person he saw was Helena.
Oh, and with that, let's listen to part 2 of Hiroshima University's English podcast version of
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, written by Charles and Mary Lamb. Oberon then sent for Puck, his chief favorite and privy counselor. Puck, or as he was sometimes called Robin Goodfellow, was a shrewd and knavish sprite that used to play comical pranks in the neighboring villages, sometimes getting into the dairies and skimming the milk, sometimes plunging his light and airy form into the butter churn, and while he was dancing his fantastic shape in the churn, in vain the dairy maid would labor to change her cream into butter. Nor had the village swain any better success. Whenever Puck chose to play his freaks in the brewing copper, the ale was sure to be spoiled. When a few good neighbors were met to drink some comfortable ale together, Puck would jump into the bowl of ale in the likeness of a roasted crab, and when some old goody was going to drink, he would bob against her lips and spill the ale over her withered chin, and presently after, when the same old dame was gravely seating herself to tell her neighbors a sad and melancholy story, Puck would slip her three-legged stool from under her, and down toppled the poor old woman. And then the old gossips would hold their sides and laugh at her, and swear they never wasted a merrier hour. "Come hither, Puck," said Oberon to this little merry wanderer of the night. "Fetch me the flower which maids call love in idleness. The juice of that little purple flower laid on the eyelids of those who sleep will make them, when they awake, dote on the first thing they see. Some of the juice of that flower I will drop on the eyelids of my Titania when she is asleep. And the first thing she looks upon when she opens her eyes, she will fall in love with, even though it be a lion or a bear, a meddling monkey or a busy ape. And before I will take this charm from off her sight, which I can do with another charm I know of, I will make her give me that boy to be my page." Puck, who loved mischief to his heart, was highly diverted with this intended frolic of his master, and ran to seek the flower. And while Oberon was waiting the return of Puck, he observed Demetrius and Helena enter the wood. He overheard Demetrius reproaching Helena for following him, and after many unkind words on his part, and gentle expostulation from Helena, reminding him of his former love and professions of true faith to her, he left her, as he said, to the mercy of the wild beasts, and she ran after him as swiftly as she could. The fairy king, who was always friendly to true lovers, felt great compassion for Helena, and perhaps, as Lysander said, they used to walk by moonlight in this pleasant wood, Oberon might have seen Helena in those happy times when she was beloved by Demetrius. However that might be, when Puck returned with the little purple flower, Oberon said to his favorite, "Take a part of this flower. There has been a sweet Athenian lady here, who is in love with a disdainful youth. If you find him sleeping, drop some of the love juice in his eyes, but contrive to do it when she is near him, that the first thing he sees when he awakes may be this despised lady. You will know the man by the Athenian garments which he wears." Puck promised to manage this matter very dexterously, and then Oberon went, unperceived by Titania, to her bower, where she was preparing to go to rest. Her fairy bower was a bank, where grew wild thyme, cowslips, and sweet violets under a canopy of woodbine, musk roses, and eglantine. There Titania always slept some part of the night, her coverlet the enameled skin of a snake, which, though a small mantle, was wide enough to wrap a fairy in. He found Titania giving orders to her fairies, how they were to employ themselves while she slept. "Some of you," said Her Majesty, "must kill cankers in the musk rose buds, and some wage war with the bats for their leathern wings to make my small elves' coats, and some of you keep watch that the clamorous owl that nightly hoots come not near me. But first sing me to sleep." Then they began to sing this song. "You spotted snakes with double tongue, thorny hedgehogs be not seen. Newts and blind worms do no wrong. Come not near our fairy queen. Philomel with melody, sing in our sweet lullaby. Lulla, lulla, lullaby. Lulla, lulla, lullaby. Never harm, no spell, nor charm. Come our lovely lady nigh. So good night with lullaby. When the fairies had sung their queen asleep with this pretty lullaby, they left her to perform the important services she had enjoined them. Oberon then softly drew near his Titania and dropped some of the love juice on her eyelids, saying, What thou seest when thou dost wake, do it for thy true love take. But to return to Hermia, who made her escape out of her father's house that night, to avoid the death she was doomed to for refusing to marry Demetrius. When she entered the wood, she found her dear Lysander waiting for her, to conduct her to his aunt's house. But before they had passed half through the wood, Hermia was so much fatigued that Lysander, who was very careful of this dear lady, who had proved her affection for him even by hazarding her life for his sake, persuaded her to rest till morning on a bank of soft moss, and laying down himself on the ground at some little distance, they soon fell fast asleep. Here they were found by Puck, who, seeing a handsome young man asleep, and perceiving that his clothes were made in the Athenian fashion, and that a pretty lady was sleeping near him, concluded that this must be the Athenian maid and her disdainful lover whom Oberon had sent him to seek. And he naturally enough conjectured that, as they were alone together, she must be the first thing he would see when he awoke. So, without more ado, he proceeded to pour some of the juice of the little purple flower into his eyes. But it so fell out that Helena came that way, and instead of Hermia, was the first object Lysander beheld when he opened his eyes. And strange to relate, so powerful was the love charm, all his love for Hermia vanished away, and Lysander fell in love with Helena.
Wow, so when Lysander woke up, he did not see his dear Hermia, but instead he saw Hermia's friend, Helena.
Right. Trouble, trouble.
So everyone, Lysander saw Helena. What will happen?
And will Oberon be successful in tricking the queen?
In part 3 next month, we will find out.
Next month, we'll also talk about a couple of other famous Shakespeare plays.
Sounds good. I wonder what they are.
And everyone, don't forget to look at the vocabulary list. If you do, it will help you understand everything.
And we will see you next time at Hiroshima University's English Podcast.
Bye.
Bye.